I think the writers of this game, the writers of this movie, this Earth game, this Earth movie, are getting lazy. They're recycling storylines. Let me tell you guys about two separate stories, recent stories that happened into my life that really seem to be just recycled and making me think the writers have to come up with more original storylines and stop plagiarizing themselves. So, back in October 2017, I applied to a local coffee shop where I was living back in Hamilton. I applied for a part-time job there, you know, a couple of times a week, and I walked in, dropped off a resume. I get a call literally within 2 days. We set up the interview, and immediately during the interview, the guy tells me, I want you to work here. And then he asks me, when can you start? And I tell him, next week my dad's coming. He's coming here for a visit, so I'm gonna be with him for a few days. So any time after that is okay. And he said, no problem, absolutely. Spend some time with your dad. He's, you know, coming from overseas and everything. You know, he asked me, where's your dad coming from, etc. And, you know, I spent a few days with my dad. He came here this was back in October, right, 2017. And after my dad left, I started working there. So, now that I moved to this new city, Ottawa, right? I go to the nearest coffee shop from here and I drop off my resume. I say, can I talk to the manager? Drop off my resume. I say, I'm looking for a part-time job here. She asks me a few questions and says she doesn't do the hiring here, the owner does. And within 30 minutes of me leaving, I get a call saying, we would like you to come in for an interview tomorrow. So then I go the next day and I get the job on the spot also. Like, also the owner tells me, I'd like you to work here. Guess what? Guess what? Guess what? She asks me, the owner, when can you start working? I tell her, you know, my dad's coming next week, so I'd like to spend a few days with him and I can start after that. She says, absolutely, no problem. She asked me again, it's like the plot was repeating itself. She asked me, where's your dad, blah, blah. I tell her he's coming from overseas, this and that. She says, no problem, yeah, go have fun with your dad and you can start after you spend a few days with your dad. So, it's a coffee shop also, right? And the way in which I got the job and the whole thing happened is like pretty much identical. The timeline of everything is identical. And I was like sort of cracking up in the interview, you know, having my own inside joke, because I'm like, I think I saw this movie before. I think I saw this movie last year. And now the movie's repeating, just different characters, different setting, right? Different city, different owner. One character remains constant, that is me. But pretty much, this is the movie. And it's sort of repeating itself before my eyes in the exact same manner, right? And I'm like cracking up. Like when I'm telling her about my dad coming, like I'm having my own like inside joke with this, because it's like, you guys are getting lazy. I'm like, you know, after I left it, I'm like, okay, you guys are getting lazy. Clearly, you guys gotta stop recycling so much of your own storylines and come up with more original ones, okay? And it's funny because I've heard other people tell stories from their own lives about how things just sort of repeat and it just becomes sort of the same plotline, the same movie. And it really makes me feel like I am a character in a movie. I have my own plotline. The ego that I know myself as Saeed is simply a character in a movie, having its own plot, its own storyline. And I really I really feel like I am just playing out an already written and already determined storyline, and part of the cosmic joke, part of the cosmic giggle, part of the comedy. Because mind you, a good movie really has comedy, drama, tragedy, all of it, right? That's why I think The Sopranos is one of the coolest TV shows ever, and one of my favorites, because The Sopranos is hilarious, it's tragic, it's funny as hell, it's dramatic, you know, and really a good movie, a good plot line, a good TV show, a good storyline, a good novel, a good book is one full of twists and turns, and one that sort of captures the wide spectrum of emotions that represent the human experience. And I do feel like I'm just sort of this character playing out this plot, playing out this movie, and part of the joke, part of the humor in it is you're gonna have things repeating in your life, and it's gonna just be almost identical, scarily identical, you know, and you're gonna find yourself just fucking having a laugh, having a joke about it, telling a story about it, right? So, you know, this is not the first time things repeat in my life. It's actually been happening a lot lately, where I'm like seeing that things are just repeating. It's just, things are just happening in sort of, in sort of a similar fashion. It's like the same storyline repeating itself. There's another thing that's been happening in my life recently that is just hilarious, but I'm not gonna talk about it, it's a little bit personal. But it's pretty hilarious how it just sort of keeps repeating itself, and it's sort of the same pattern. And I just sort of find myself standing and observing in it all, and just having a laugh, having a joke, because I really, first of all, believe that I am a character in a movie. This whole thing feels like a movie to me. It feels like a game to me, and I'm playing it out. My question now, and this is the one I'm really struggling to find an answer to. Am I playing out a plot line, a character, a storyline that is already predetermined? Is everything predetermined, or do I have some kind of free will in it? Am I writing the story also? Am I co-writing the story, or is this written for me? And where I stand on this now, what I think is going on, this is just my theories, Saeed's theory on what's happening, is I think that we are largely playing a predetermined path, but there is several of them. It's kind of like if you were playing in a game and then you make a certain decision, and that decision will lead you to, say, 5 different plot lines. My friend, one of my really good friends, told me to play a game. I can't remember the name of it. He told me to play a game because it sort of works like this. You make a choice, and then there's like maybe 5 plot lines, and your choice leads to 5 already predetermined plot lines. And what I think is happening in our own personal lives is there is, let's take this Saeed character, the Saeed plotline, the Saeed movie, and say every decision I make will lead to different outcomes, but all these outcomes are already predetermined for me, and they're not as huge and humongous as I think. You know, I have different choices. They're kind of limited. It's not, I don't have that damn many choices, you know? And then based on each choice, and a path sort of unfolds. And they're all predetermined, it seems. And maybe, just maybe, when you hear this term, follow your heart, follow your intuition, follow your gut feeling, maybe, just maybe, that gut feeling leads you to your most optimal, already predetermined path. So in many ways, I think the soul knows the most optimal path for itself. It already saw the whole thing before it sort of made this human incarnation. And following the intuition, the guidance, the inner guru is just simply aligning yourself with your most optimal path, your most optimal storyline, your most optimal plot that will make you the happiest, but it's already predetermined and you're just sort of playing it out. And I think we still maybe do have free will. We can go on to different paths, but they're also predetermined, you see? So I am sort of starting to see the exquisite way in which, and sophistication of this game, this movie. But I am also seeing that a lot of storylines are recycled. And I'm really seeing that pattern in my own life, and I think I'll see it more and more and more. And yeah, I just wanted to share this with you guys. Let me know what you think. Do you think we have free will? Do you think everything's predetermined? Do you have things happening, patterns repeating themselves in a pretty obvious way and manner in your own life? I think everybody has. You just have to pay attention. And that's it. Check out my free book, 5 Powerful Habits to Dominate Life in All Areas. It's for free. It's in the description. You can go to 5powerfulhabits.com also. Also, check out my book, The Master Player. A practical guide to win the game of life. And I think you'll really like it. If you like this video, you're gonna love The Master Player, because I really dissect life as some sort of a movie, some sort of a video game. And sort of share some valuable pointers as to how to navigate and play and win this game. So, themasterplayer.com, you will see the link for the book in the description as well. I also do consultations. I do one-on-one consultations via Skype. All sessions are recorded. If you want to book a session, you want to talk about anything in your life, personal or impersonal, you can book a session. Just go to saeedmobaya.com/consulting, I think. Or just go to the description, okay? You'll see it, consulting. You'll see it somewhere there, okay? So I'm done shamelessly advertising myself. God bless you all, guys. I love every single one of you. But don't forget to subscribe. Or. Do you guys see the repetitiveness of it all? You're gonna sleep with the fishes. So subscribe.